If you buy this, you'll never have to vacuum or mop again. Let's get started. Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Alright guys, so today I'm going to be checking out a robot vacuum and mop, and this is something I have not taken a sponsorship for a while. Why? Because I had a $1,000 robot vacuum that I wasn't using. Because it would just have certain issues. It would get stuck somewhere. It would get caught in something. It would knock stuff over. Oh my God, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. It was just more maintenance that I really didn't want to do. So imagine my surprise when I agreed to this sponsorship from Dreamy. They had me check out their Dreamy X40 Ultra robot vacuum, and this is something that is really special. It actually solved all 5 pain points that I had and why I wasn't using my previous robot vacuums, but why I agreed to this one, reviewing it, and the sponsorship. So let's go ahead and see why this one is better. First, definitely had to be just being able to vacuum and mop all different kind of floors and be prepared for all different kind of areas rather than having to manually do everything. So I have to say, one of the biggest things is that, some robot vacuums have had the lifting up mop feature for carpets, which you need so that when you go on a carpet, you're obviously not mopping it. However, this one not only had that, but it also has the ability to lift up the brush. This is important because if you have a spill, you don't want your brush to get wet and then just kind of have that go around on all your floors. It's just a mess. So I love that it has both lifting capabilities so that it can really go on any hardware surface, any carpet, without having to do it yourself. It knows what to do, even though you still can manually do it if you need to. Plus, one of the most unique things, and I think this is the only model that can actually do this, is that it can actually leave your mop pads. This is really important because if you just need to vacuum really quickly and you don't want to mop, you can actually just leave the mop pads behind. You don't have to worry about them getting dirty or anything along those lines, and it will just go and vacuum very quickly. I've used this before a company has come over when I just need to vacuum for 30 minutes, make sure there's nothing on the floor, and I don't want it to be wet when they come in, so vacuuming is all I need, and this allows me to do that very easily. One of the biggest complaints of robot vacuums has always been corners, meaning that they could actually do, the middle very easily, even some of the sides, but never corners. It's very difficult to do. Well, this model can. It has the ability to actually extend its brush out to get every nook and cranny hidden in those corners, so it makes sure to vacuum everything up. But not only does it have an extended arm for the vacuum, it also has extendable mop pads. This is really cool because they actually extend out to make sure to get those corners, but it has a robo swing, or what I like to call a spin attack, to actually be able to spin around and make sure it gets those corners and that wall while spinning and extending the mops. This is really great because, again, I just hated having to do work after my robot vacuum and mop would go out. It's really nice just to have it know that it will do the full job and I don't need to actually follow it up. This was a complaint definitely on previous robot vacuums that I've had in the house from my family, that I just ended up having to do it myself or something along those lines, where it just didn't do the job that I wanted it to. And now this one does. Then what has to be the biggest feature for me at least is obstacle avoidance. This was the main reason I stopped using my other robot vacuum, just because it would always get caught on things. It would get, very aggressive around my pets. It would have an issue with electric cables. I'm a tech guy, guys. I have so many cords around and it would just always get caught. I would have to have many little boundaries to tell it, don't go here, in fear of it getting caught in cables. This one doesn't have that issue. And that means for me, the biggest difference of all. See, it has 3D adaptable obstacle avoidance through not only having a LiDAR and other sensors, but also having a camera built in with a headlight. This really allows it to map out your area much better than previous robot vacuums could. It can detect up to 120 different obstacles, even pet droppings or anything along those lines. And I put it to the test when my son went to sleep. I kind of vacuumed up a little bit around his toys and it had no issues with this. This is something that I just cannot stress how much better it is when you have these features to have it all and not need to clean up before you clean up. That is what I had to do with a lot of other robot vacuums. I would have to clean up, move stuff out of the way, tuck in cables, do all of these kind of things before the robot vacuum could go. And because of that, I never scheduled the robot vacuum because I just wanted to know, hey, you're gonna do it without me needing to be there to make sure everything's clean first, but I never could until this model came out. And now I literally can schedule it and I do not have to worry about what state my floors are in. And that actually leads me into the next big pain point, which was supervision and maintenance. I really do mean that I had to kind of set up my living room, set up my kitchen, set up, God forbid, the bedrooms of all the stuff they had on the floor before being able to use a robot vacuum before. And that's what really got me to stop using it. Not to mention the fact that that means it would get stuck. And I would just be like, why am I even bothering? This doesn't have that issue. And I cannot stress to you how much that is worth. It is so important to have a robot vacuum that really can just do everything and not need your help to do those things. Besides that optical avoidance, it really does stem from not needing to do every little thing in order for it to do its job. Now, what I mean by that is it has two big tanks of water, one for clean water, one for dirty water. And this allows your mopping to do very well in it. I love that fact that you can just do all of the mopping without meaning to do it, and it cleans the mop pads. That is huge. I would have to throw the mop pads in other previous vacuums in every week or so just because it would stink, it wouldn't clean itself or anything like that, so I had to always go and clean it. Again, it's kind of like trading one chore for another, but with this one, it does it for you. It hot cleans these mops and really makes them still fresh and good, and it has a detection that if it's still dirty, it will actually refresh the mops again to make sure that you're not actually doing dirty water or dirty stains on top of your floors. So you're not going to have it with a dirty mop, it's always going to be a clean mop whenever it goes out to clean. And then the dust bin. Some other vacuum stations have this, but this one is huge. It's 3.2 liters, which I have not needed to empty for over 3 weeks. That to me is great. It can do up to 75 days apparently, and I believe it because the fact that it is getting all of this stuff and all of this debris on my floor on a scheduled maintenance now, I really love that. It's just doing it on its own and I don't need to set it up. I don't need to remember, oh God, I have to empty that bin because it's been over 3 weeks. It'll probably be over a month before I have to do it, if not longer. And that low maintenance is so big because it means that I don't have to trade one chore for another. I don't have to mop, but I have to clean the mop. I don't have to vacuum, but I have to clean the vacuum. The fact that I don't have to do this for multiple weeks to even months really is the main benefit of this, that I can just set it and forget it and actually not need to maintain it or help it do anything. It does it on its own. Not to mention that I love that although you get a mopping solution for it, you can use whatever mopping solution you need to. It's not a proprietary one like some other ones are. Now, a point I have to stress about low supervision is can it do the job without me needing to watch over it? If there's a stain or dirt or a mess that my kids or myself left behind, do I need to clean it up after the robot vacuum? This one has actually the strongest suction at 12,000 pascals. I believe that's actually more than any robot vacuum in the industry, and it's extremely powerful, let me just say that. It had no problem doing the test I did with Doritos, Oreos, and dirt. It was able to clean everything up very easily, and I just appreciate that because again, I don't have to supervise it and make sure it's doing its job, it just does it. Then the last part has to be the app, which I just love a simple, easy to understand app. One that I don't have to really get into and use my techie brain to figure out. The fact that it's just, oh, I can actually pick how each room cleans. So if I need the kitchen to do a little bit more mopping, or if I need the bathroom to do a little bit less vacuuming, you can set all of these. Because of its Genius Clean feature, you can actually set up each and every room to be personalized to the way you want it to be. But it also has really intelligent features, again, because of that camera in the front. So remember I mentioned that it could actually detect pet droppings? Well, it can actually detect pets and not bother them so much, which I know my dog has really appreciated. And that is really big for a lot of people. Pet-friendly robot vacuums aren't a thing usually. But that camera and the sensors also detect how stubborn a stain really is. So it can actually analyze a stain and really determine, oh, hey, this is going to be a tougher stain. The first run didn't get it. So I'm going to go back to the station, clean the mop off, get it hotter if need be, get more water if need be, and make sure that I get the stain out. That is really good. And again, extra features that it has because of that camera. But my favorite feature in the app that you can utilize the camera for is being able to see the camera. This is actually a very not only unique feature, but one that I really appreciate as a homeowner. The fact that if I ever want to, I can just immediately turn on my robot vacuum when I'm on vacation and actually patrol, even turn the light on the vacuum and see, what's going on in the house is a great peace of mind. You can take photos, you can take recordings from the camera. It's really nice just to be able to have that. And one feature that I didn't know I wanted a robot vacuum to have, but this one really surprised me in having it. So yeah, the Dreame X40 Ultra really kind of changed my perspective on having a robot vacuum. I had plenty of sponsorships that I turned down before this one, just because I didn't want another robot vacuum that I really wasn't going to end up using in the end. And this one is actually one that I'm keeping around, that I'm actually having to clean my house, because guess what? Like I said in the beginning, I don't have to vacuum or mop as long as this is around. The fact that this is going to do everything I needed to without needing to supervise it, without needing to worry about it, without needing to worry if it's going to bump into anything, I just know that all my vacuuming and mopping is going to be taken care of. Now, if it can only organize my kids' toys, that would be set. And if you want to buy your own Dreame, we are going to have links in the description down below. Make sure to check it to find out the best price. And remember, this is an investment. The fact is, this is going to save you time. You're not going to have to vacuum anymore. You're not going to have to mop anymore. Just knowing that those two chores are done has well worth it for the investment, in my opinion. But those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comment section down below. Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, follow me on social media at YouTube Tech Guy. And check out some more great tech videos on your screen right now.